Hello everyone and welcome back to day 4 of 31 Nights of Halloween. Yes, this video is late and yes, it's being uploaded right before day 5's episode. I had to take a little break yesterday for mental health, but I'm back. So, you want to say hi, Rob?
Hey there.
Oh, he didn't say the hi Rob joke again. Good, he's not over-repeating himself. So we're back at it with today and today's episodes are going to be, once again, us reading more stories. And today I am a very aristocratic vampire. I don't have the things. I couldn't find the things, so. Also, Sphinx is hanging out today, so she probably will be popping in and out. I apologize if she meows during the recordings. But yeah, so it would be very cute. She'll probably lay on my lap quite a lot. But yeah, so let's take it away, Rob. You're gonna go first again today. So definitely.
I like how it was no pressure.
All the pressure. I mean, you got the better voice. You're doing it in a British accent, so a British-like accent.
No, apparently that's better.
It's a
little subjective kind of
it's
rating anyway.
I would say a lot more of like American speakers probably have a preference toward hearing British accents because it's a little more like unique to them. But I personally also like listening to British accents more. And the reason why I jokingly said British like so Rob's accent's very genuine, it's a native accent. Oh geez, I blew out the mic for a second there on my thing. I gotta turn that down just a smidge. His accent's genuine. It's not like him playing it up. If anything, he's playing down his accent so that us stupid Americans can understand better. Jokes. And he's had a few times where people, because his accent's not the traditional Southern English accent, so there's been a few people who like misunderstand his accent as trying to be British, like he's trying to go for Scottish or something like that. Someone actually had commented, maybe not commented directly onto the video's comments, because you see there's no comments there, because I am not popular. But they said, because he has a British-like accent, and I'm like, it is British, it's just Northern British. It's just not what you're used to hearing, British.
It's more unique, it's exotic.
It's exotic.
Okay, shall I read this thing?
Alright, don't forget to give the user's name and the title and stuff.
Yes, sir.
So, this is a story posted by username /88DLNana. If I pronounced that incorrectly, please lambast me when you listen to this later. This is called The Time I Got Haunted by a Ghost with No Legs named Eddy. This is my very first post ever. As soon as I saw the subreddit, I knew I'd have to share my experience. Sorry if my grammar and spelling is a mess. I'm shaking. It's hard to talk about it still. This happened when I was around 16-ish. I'm 20 now. Me and a friend of mine thought it would be a good idea to play with a Ouija board at night in the middle of a park near my house. We asked it the normal teenage questions like, is there anyone here? What's your name? Etc. When it was happening, we never got precise answers, so we just thought it was all fake. I got fed up and said something like, if this is actually real, touch me or make a noise. That's when we heard something and blew it off automatically. He drove me back home after that and just left the board in his car. We never really talked about it again because nothing really happened. It wasn't until a couple of days later, when I was alone in his car waiting for him, that I started hearing whispering and tapping noises coming from his trunk where the board is. I looked into the rearview mirror where I caught a glimpse of a boy. It started to freak me out so much that I actually left the car and waited for him outside. When he came back, I asked him if he's been hearing weird things or seeing things, and he just said no, so I thought I was going crazy. For another couple of days it was all fine and dandy. Didn't hear anything and didn't see anything. It wasn't until a week later I saw him again. It was the middle of the night and I got out of bed to use the bathroom. When I opened my door, right in front of it sat a small boy with bloody stubs for legs, wearing old-fashioned clothes. He didn't have a face, but he did have giant black eyes that looked like holes. I blinked once, and he was gone. I just went to the bathroom and went back to sleep. That was the moment everything changed. At night, I started to hear something crawling and dragging itself on the floor of my room. I started hearing things all the time. It would say things like, "Stay with me," and would constantly call my name. It would close and open doors for me. I had the feeling that someone was always watching me and was always right behind me. I saw him once again after all of this started. I was going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I have a bad habit of always looking into the mirror as soon as I get into the bathroom. That's when I saw him floating behind me in the mirror, just staring at me with his missing legs and black eyes. I turned around as fast as I could, but he disappeared. That's when I asked him what his name was, and right next to my ear, I felt a breath and heard the name Eddy. In a way, it made me feel better and calmer now that I knew his name. Things continued to happen more often than they used to, but he started to be more helpful in a way, like opening a door when I asked, and closing them when I asked. I honestly didn't want him to leave. I felt comfort in knowing he was around. Weird, I know. It wasn't until the incident happened that I started to feel unsafe. Eddy never followed me out of my house, or at least I never noticed him out of my house, until one day. It was at my then boyfriend's house while he was at work and his family was away. I was sitting on the couch in the front room when I felt the whole house shake. I don't live in an area where earthquakes ever happen, so I knew it wasn't that. Cabinets in the kitchen started opening and slamming shut. Anything that was on the counters flew off. Doors started slamming shut. It wasn't until I screamed for him to stop that he stopped. After that, Eddy became super productive and possessive of me. He used to make me sick so I couldn't leave the house. He used to drain my battery within my phone and car. He did everything within his power to stop me from leaving. I finally told my mum what was happening, and we got a priest in to bless me and the house, and we saged the house as well. I haven't seen him since. Now, I always have holy water on me, but I'm still not afraid of spirits. This was still one of my most traumatic experiences I've ever had, and I can't tell the story without feeling an uncomfortable amount of pressure on my neck. I hope you enjoy. I do have many more stories of ghosts within my house, and my sister has some stories as well. Let me know if you'd like to hear any of them.
So we had like a, first it was a Casper the Friendly Ghost to Yandere Ghost.
Yandere Ghost, nice.
I mean, can you just...
Yeah, so I fumbled on a sentence back there, and I think I said a couple of words wrong. So please don't hate me too much, author.
It's judge-free zone here. Except for me, I'm judging everyone all the time, as you know.
All the time, yeah.
I'm the most judgmental person you know.
So, what kind of story are you going to entertain us with?
Interesting enough, I also picked someone that had no eyes. I was like, oh, you're going to do no legs, I'll do no eyes. And then they mentioned that Eddy had no eyes, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't. Did you actually watch the previous video? I'm curious. It's fine if you didn't. I'm not gonna take it personally if you didn't. But I just meant because like I did like a special like little filter over the video and audio when I
the grainy one.
Yeah, I did the
yeah.
I thought it was fun. Thought it'd make a nice.
Well, I like that kind of stuff. It's very like vintage, very like old school horror.
Very
vintage.
Old school. Shall I read this in my Count voice? That doesn't sound very scared. Actually, Count does not have any scared range. Not from me, at least. From his actual actor, yes. From me, I can't do, like, Count besides sounding like a feral bastard. I can only do feral bastard levels of Count. The next story is Where Her Eyes Should Have Been, There Was Nothing, by u/Pocket Plant Official. I grew up in a provincial town somewhere north of the Philippines. Back in the mid-90s, my mom had an instrumental job of helping establish schools in poorer provincial areas of the country. This was during the early days of cell phones, and a lot of areas didn't have electricity, much less telephones, so getting contacts wasn't as simple as it is today. They need people to actually travel from one town to another to bridge the gaps. My dad, that wasn't the author's name. My dad also had a farm 30 minutes to an hour away, so they'd usually take the opportunity to check on it during one of these business trips. The provincial roads they had to traverse were dark and dimly lit, with sharp turns, and stories of collisions and accidents taking place at the dead of night were not uncommon. One of the most infamous sights in the region was a bridge in a town. I'm not going to specify that had allegedly... a town I'm not going to specify, I'm so sorry. In a town that I'm not going to specify that had allegedly collapsed and been built after a fully loaded bus was trying to pass a few decades before. There had been myths of witnessing bloody and bruised people looking into vehicles of passerbyers, but I personally never saw anything in the many times I passed through that bridge. Now, getting to the title of this post. My parents told me this story. So in one of their trips, my mom and... I'm so sorry, this isn't the actual author's fault. I don't know why I'm tripping around so much. So in one of their trips, my mom had two of her co-workers along. They'd finished the business trip and were on their way back home, and at 1 a.m., they were still up chatting about random things, trying to keep my dad on the wheel awake. They were nearing the bridge. From afar, they could see what looked to be a woman with frizzy hair and ripped and tattered rags that looked like it had once been a beautiful white dress standing on the side of the bridge, looking off into the distance. My dad described her skirt as torn and flaring in the wind. One of my mom's co-workers said, "Wait, is that a person?" wondering what a woman would be doing there in the middle of the night. This person might have intended to jump, and this might have been a cry of help. As they got closer, my dad slowed the car down to see what was up with the woman, and when they were next to her, she suddenly turned around, looked right at them, and gave them a smile. Her teeth were white, and my dad said from the tip of her nose, the upper part of her face was just nothing. I asked my dad to clarify, suggesting that maybe her hair was obscuring the top of her face so they couldn't see her eyes, but he and my mom swear they know what they saw. There was just a black, empty void where the rest of that woman's face should have been. Everyone in the car was freaking out at this point, and my dad just hit it and didn't stop until they got to the next town. After everyone had calmed down a bit, my mom's coworker suggested they started praying, so they did. They prayed they'd be safe that night and not encounter anything else. Thankfully, they all got home safely that night. But since that day, my mom's coworkers have been reluctant to tag along on these road trips. Even today, whenever I ask my dad to tell me the story again, he's still visibly shaken, getting goosebumps. Over the years, I've heard a couple of road trips from my friends, and if you've ever talked to anyone who's been in these trips, chances are they have a story to tell. I have a few more of these, including ones I've seen personally taking place in other towns, but I'll leave those for some other time. Jesus Christ, I am so sorry to the author. I tripped a lot. There was like a sentence or two that did have a grammatical error, but other than that was mainly me, and I am so sorry for that. Sorry. I have no idea why I was tripping up so much. It's because I'm not used to doing peasant work. I'm an aristocratic vampire. I'm fun. I don't have a fancy class in front of me.
Actually has a class
very appropriate. In case anyone's wondering, it says the dungeon on there, or the dungeons. It's from the San Francisco Dungeons. It's a really cool experience. It's actually like a historical tour thing. They teach you kind of the history of like San Francisco in a very like haunted house tour like way. I think it was really fun. Obviously only for people who can handle jump scares and stuff like that. One day I want to bring this guy to it.
This guy looks forward to being terrified.
I mean, it depends. You tend to get scared in like haunted house jump scare thingies.
Yeah.
You do? Oh, don't worry, I'll protect you. I'll hold your hand.
I have a big imagination, so this kind of stuff gets to me. I didn't, because last time I went into one, I was in, where was I? Denmark. I was in Denmark, in Copenhagen. And they had a theme park there, and they had a haunted house. And they had such a big queue to get through that thing. I was going to say it's a bit linear, but I presume haunted houses are linear all the time anyway.
To be fair, this one also like teaches you history about. So it teaches you about the Alcatraz. It teaches you what they did during during diseases and stuff like that. But yeah,
have they got like actors?
Oh yeah, there's actors and stuff, and they actually interact with the audience. So I got someone killed, and then I got my entire group convicted as guilty, and got sent to Alcatraz.
Wait, can they actually touch you?
Kind of.
Oh no, I don't like that.
But not too much. Like the only like touching was like when they let someone onto the stage kind of thing, and that's the person I got killed. They were showing medical treatments via her.
Performing medical treatments, you guys probably.
I had a lot of fun, and they for the most part they don't really touch you. Besides that one time, I think it was like the only time someone got touched was that time. And what was really funny, when I went with this big group of people. I went with one of the people, the person I got killed actually was someone I was taking on a date, and then her mom, and then a couple of my friends. And I'm dressed like this cute little Lolita. I got pigtails and everything. It was for my birthday. And so I got like dressed up, and I'm looking like this tiny, I'm like second shortest person. The shortest person was like 4'9" or something like that. He was very tiny, but basically I'm like, don't worry, everyone. I have these pictures of me like holding people's hands, like make sure they feel safe and comforted and stuff like that. And it's really funny that like me, the tiny little Lolita, is the person who's like not scared at all. I'm like, I'll protect you. One of my other friends, she also was not scared at all. But yeah, it gives you an excuse to hold my hand and get cuddled up with me, your fairy boyfriend.
Don't need an excuse.
Haha, it's true.
Nah.
I'm actually not looking at his face. I don't know actually if his camera's off, but I can't see if his camera's on or off right now because I'm looking at the recording I'm doing. His camera's on, and he's doing. Well, thank you all for watching. As said at the beginning of the video, day 5 is going to be like uploaded immediately after day 4, and it's pretty much going to be the same thing where we're going to be doing stories from r/paranormal. Which actually, interestingly enough, I got banned because. It's really weird because I commented 2 times on the last 2 stories. I commented on the original post saying, hey, your story's been uploaded onto the channel. And for some reason, both of those each got 2 strikes because both of them got removed twice. Which is weird because I only posted them once. So somehow I got 4 strikes even though I should have gotten 2 strikes. And so when I got the 3rd strike, it just automatically banned me. And then I got the 4th strike right after the ban. It was really weird. And so like I didn't ask them to unban me. I definitely didn't ask them to put the comments back. But I just kind of called. I was like, so yeah, can you explain this to me? I'm just a little confused. And I got them all within the same, like, I'm pretty sure they were probably within minutes of each other, if not, like, this, at the very least, they were in the same hour, but they seemed like they were, like, conjecturally one right after the other kind of thing. I'm so sorry. I know this is, like, an offensive hand movement to some people in certain countries. But yeah, so, it was very interesting. I got banned from r/paranormal because I posted the link. I guess I should have just sent it directly to the people that I read the stories of. So my bad, that's what I'm going to do from now on. But it was just like, hey, yeah, could you explain this for me, bruh? But yeah, so that would conclude day 4 of 31 Nights of Halloween. I don't have vampire things, unfortunately. I I just have them retracted. You want to say goodbye, Rob?
Goodbye, fun people. Stay spooky.
Stay spooky, and remember, practice social distancing. Thank you for watching, and have a gay
day.